Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I wanted to go over something that's a little bit scary, but we're going to walk through it together, and so it's less scary. And then, if it does occur in your relationship and your marriage, you'll be prepared and be more aware that it's not something that you have to struggle with alone, because a lot of people in marriages struggle with this. There is a scary truth that happens when avoidants marry you. Now, I'm not saying it's something like infidelity or they're gonna abuse you, nothing like that. It's just you start seeing their patterns way more up close. And the first one is one of the most common reasons, well, probably the first one is anger, but the second most common reason why my patients come in for therapy, and it is that intimacy has an issue in the marriage. And most of them, it's because of the avoidant. Now, a lot of my patients are, like, a lot of my individual patients are men. And for the couple, a lot of the dismissive avoidance or fearful avoidance are male, and the anxious or fearful leaning anxious are female, but that's not always the case. I have some that are female the other way around, and I used to be avoidant and I'm female, so I'm not judging, but if I accidentally say him for the avoidant, it's because I'm thinking about like my caseload. So intimacy will be something that very likely, if you're married to an avoidant, you will have to work on in the marriage. It's not going to be something that is not an issue at all. And most marriages have this issue in general, but with an avoidant, it's a little bit more challenging, okay? Avoidants have a very interesting relationship with intimacy. They view it as very intimate and vulnerable, but also something very mechanical. And so in the beginning, you're not somebody they loved, and so they were focused on the mechanics of the act. I can't say much more on it on YouTube, but it's just, you get it, right? And as the relationship progresses, the love becomes deeper and the pressure of intimacy becomes heavy. Their thoughts are all about you and them and the vulnerability. Thoughts can be like, do you like it? Are you faking it? Are they supposed to kiss you? How can they make sure that you're feeling okay? How can they enjoy themselves without focusing so much on you? How are they supposed to act? How are you supposed to act? What are they supposed to concentrate on? Is it supposed to be romantic or is it supposed to be just mechanical? And so a lot of these thoughts can be incredibly frustrating for them. And the main reason why, which I don't know if a lot of people know this or understand this, but probably if you watch my channel, you can probably get it. Avoidants are very uncomfortable with failure. It's one of their biggest fears. And intimacy is a very the act in of itself can really feel like a pass or fail for especially male avoidance, but male and female, right? A pass or fail if they did the right thing, if they made a mistake, if it was comfortable enough, how are they supposed to act? Are they good at it? And so all of these things are like really, really, really pressuring. For even the average person, they can have these thoughts, but they get more comfortable in the act. So in avoidant, it gets more comfortable with those, they get more caught up in those thoughts. And so being able to trust and have open conversations about this as an issue can really help because it reduces the pressure. It makes them feel that they're not so alone, but you never want to nitpick on it. Sometimes what can really help is just to take a break from intimacy while still talking that it's an issue if you guys have enough rapport, and then revisit it later. Maybe at one point I'll make like a course on it so that I can like make a lot more detail about it. But you guys know I'm working on a book and that will have some details about it as well. But in general, I'll try my best to scatter it in my videos as I can without like touching on the topics that I'm not going to say on YouTube. But hopefully everything I said made sense. The next one is you'll see how regimented their daily life is. A lot of people are not prepared for this one, but it is really true. Regimented, like the time they wake up, the time they have breakfast. Maybe some of them skip breakfast, whatever it is. They exercise this amount of times a day. They socialize this amount of times with these people. They sit on the sofa and do these types of things. They watch this show, whatever it is. Incredibly, incredibly, incredibly regimented. And you will actually see that it's very clear why they have very little emotional connection with anybody. Because if your life is that regimented, it is really hard to let anybody in if you have so many other things on your task list. And it's by design. Subconsciously, that's why they do it. The next one is really similar, but a little bit more scary. You're going to see how they avoid their feelings using those maladaptive mechanisms. A lot of avoidants have unhealthy behaviors. Some of them are very obsessive with eating habits. And I've talked about this on this channel before. Some of them are pretty controlling. Some of them, are into gambling. Sometimes it's not even direct gambling. It could be like they're obsessed with looking at their stocks, or they always look at their bank account. Whatever it is, they're very obsessive with certain things that they can control. Some of them are really controlling about their body image. Some of them are very controlling about like when they go to sleep. Some of them are controlling about the cleanliness of their house, and some of them are into like drinking and other behaviors. So maladaptive strategies to avoid their feelings, and when they have a surplus of feelings, these maladaptive strategies also become a surplus, and that can be really frustrating if you're the wife or the husband and you want to help and you feel helpless because they have these habits. The next one is you learn about the truth about their relationship with money. Most avoidants have a very, very rigid and difficult relationship with money. Many are very frugal and very controlling with money. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If it is a dismissive avoidant, they can be so extreme that like in the wintertime, their house is still like 59. And some people are okay with that, but some people are not. They only use like one light, or they barely use any lights. And in the dark, they use like maybe a flashlight for like a second. They like save money so much. It becomes very controlling. Fearful avoidants have a little bit of a different relationship. Some of them are like what I just described with dismissive avoidance, but actually some of them have a struggle with overspending. And some dismissive avoidants are like this too, but much more common with fearful avoidance, where they spend depending on their mood. If they're feeling more detached, they don't spend as much. If they're feeling very emotional, they may spend. But some of them, even when they're feeling really numb, they may overspend to feel something. And so it really depends on the fearful avoidant. Because fearful avoidants have such a range of trauma, of course, the relationship with money also has a range. The next one is that you may realize a lot of their platonic relationships are actually not that deep, and they're lacking a true connection. Like you will see so many of their platonic, they may have a buddy that they've had for like 20 years and they've never met in person, and they were like an online friend and they're still friends with them, and that's great. But you will start seeing like that buddy that they were always talking about is someone they may have never met before. Some of them even talk about, and I've seen this, by the way, like literally I have some wives or husbands in therapy that mention like, you talk about this friend as if you've known them, but you haven't talked to each other in 5 years. Are you guys still friends? Like it happens. And they are friends, but it just, they don't talk as much. But they will talk about these friendships as if they're very real and very frequent in your mind. But this is how avoidants connect. And so they may have not talked to that person in 5 years. Just an example, okay? The next one is if they are fearful avoidant, they may struggle with a sleep disorder or an unspecified sleep disorder that disrupts sleep, or oversleeping or things like that. Fearful avoidants have an interesting relationship with sleep because sometimes they sleep a lot because of the trauma they've experienced, and they struggle with a lot of deep levels of depression. And a lot of times they're avoiding the feelings and the fears that they have, and they use sleep. However, there's an interesting side of this, and I've shared this on my channel before. Sometimes when fearful avoidants are feeling really overwhelmed, their body gets so tired it almost forces them to shut down, because a lot of them have PTSD. And sometimes people with PTSD, their brain is used to processing trauma subconsciously. It's why they have those flashbacks. And so the body is saying, sleep so that I can process these feelings for you. And so sometimes it is okay to let them sleep if they need to process it, but they don't want to stay in that state forever, or not forever, but a long period of time. But sometimes you do have to let them do this, because taking that away can be very detrimental, because this is what they're used to. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. Oh, I forgot to summarize. Let me summarize real quick and then we'll wrap it up. So the first one is, what was the first one here? Intimacy is probably going to be an issue. The second one is you'll see how regimented their daily life is. 3, you'll see how they avoid their feelings using maladaptive mechanisms. 4, you will see their true relationship with money. 5, you will see their platonic relationships and friendships, etc., are not as deep as you thought they were or you expect them to be. And if they're fearful avoidant, they may have an interesting relationship with sleep. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.